Hello and welcome to So You Think You Can Fanon. I'm your host, Sergio, here alongside my good friends Matt and Jake, bringing you the worst of the worst and the best of the best that Fanon has to offer, as we are the number one podcast in reading Amazon novels of questionable quality.
I can't argue with that.
Nobody can. We are the Supreme Kings. But
we're base.
Before we get into that, there was a discussion that we wanted to finish about Japanese animation.
Yes, and I would like to start with my perspective on anime growing up, because I wasn't there for that.
Sure.
You weren't there when you grew up?
No, I wasn't there for when you guys were discussing that, because I left like 3 minutes into it.
I know. It was a joke, bro. Chill out, bro.
Okay, so, you know, when I was growing up, I guess the anime I primarily watched was Pokemon, which is like, it's just like the past anime. It's just, everyone's seen it. But I remember, because like my dad would put things on, so I remember a little bit of Dragon Ball, like the Saiyan arc. I watched Kirby. A little bit of Kirby.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and I remember
that show, bro.
That because I like when I played Smash, like, because I remember just randomly picking up Smash Bros. Because I was like, oh, this looks cool. It's multiplayer. I can play with my mom. And then I saw that had that funny pink guy from that cool show. And then Yu-Gi-Oh, because my older brother was really into Yu-Gi-Oh, and I kind of watched along.
I like how you almost doxed his name and then you did.
And I was fine with Yu-Gi-Oh. I mean, like I liked watching it, and I didn't. He wanted me to play it with him, but I wasn't really getting the rules. And I know there was like, I think GX and regular Yu-Gi-Oh was airing around the same. Probably watched it on 4Kids, actually. Now I'm thinking about it. But wasn't really digging GX, and kind of just caught like random episodes of Yu-Gi-Oh spotted out through the timeline, so I just never knew what was going on. Then I don't really think I never really like thought of anime. Like, it wasn't like, I guess I didn't have I guess like in my mind I was like, this is a Japanese cartoon or whatever, but it didn't like really click for me until maybe around like 5th grade, middle school. I watched Transformers Armada, which is a Japanese anime of Transformers, obviously. I watched a lot of Transformers cartoons with my brother, which, being that Transformers was based on Japanese toys, I guess you could consider the show's anime adjacent, but Transformers cartoons were good. Okay.
Yeah. That's fair.
Yeah, fuck you.
I mean, under the actual definition, all animation is anime, so take that what you will. But the first proper anime I watched was Devil May Cry, the animated series, because I got really into Devil May Cry because I watched Screw Attack, and Screw Attack was like top 11 coolest video game characters. Number 6, Dante. I was like, oh, Dante looks cool, and then it was like, but I don't have a PS2. And then they dropped the Devil May Cry HD collection, and my life was forever changed. Sucked at it, but
you had to play Devil May Cry 2, and you gave up video games forever.
No, I started with 3, and then I went to 1, and then I went to 2.
That's the right way.
Yeah, I was a big proponent back then of playing things in chronological order, but yeah, Devil May Cry 3 rocked my socks off, and Devil May Cry 1, the socks were on, but they were firmly rocked, and then Devil May Cry 2...
it's a game.
Yeah, is a game. Even little me who liked every game I played was like, there's something wrong with this. So yeah, I watched the animated series because at the time it was all on YouTube, and I was like, this is pretty cash. And then I guess true proper anime I watched was I was at my grandma's house, and they had the Funimation channel, and I was like, oh cool, they got Funimation on here. They got anime. It was before I hate decided to hate Funimation with a burning passion. And they had an anime called Gun Sword, which I've brought up a few times, but is about a man who has a sword and a girl who has a gun. It's a mecha anime. And they're out for revenge. And it was pretty solid 13-episode anime that no one has ever heard of, but I got it on DVD. I want to revisit it at some time to see like if it's like actually good or I'm just not remembering. But
you were just like, wow, gun, sword, cool.
But yeah, that I guess was my start into anime, and then I know me and my little brother were like looking at different animes. I remember watching an episode of High School of the Dead because I was like, "Ooh, zombies!" And I watched it, and I was like, "Why are they showing all these girls' panties? It's weird. So many upskirts."
I did basically the same thing when I was in like 8th grade.
And I remember when because Lollipop Chainsaw came out at the same time. I was like, "Oh, cool! They got a High School of the Dead outfit. I like that." I'd only seen one episode, but I was like, "Yeah, I'm a fake fan. I'm gonna put on that skin."
I've seen it. That's enough.
I remember we watched an episode of there was a vampire anime called Black Blood Brothers. We watched like the first episode and never continued it, but the premise was interesting. I remember liking the first episode. And Carlos got really into Samurai Champloo. I didn't watch it, but he watched most of it and he said that was pretty good.
Nice.
Other than that, I don't think I watched too much anime until you guys got me into JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Oh yeah, Hellsing Ultimate. Yeah, because my friend Colin at the end of middle school got me into Hellsing Abridged, so I watched.
Did we get you into
Hellsing.
JoJo before or after we watched Dragon Ball together? It was around the same time.
It was around the same time, yeah. I think it was after Dragon Ball.
I think so, yeah.
Because I tried to get you guys into JoJo. Matt got me into JoJo. And then I tried to get you into JoJo.
It wasn't a problem. Like I remember you showed me the first episode and I liked it, and then you never brought up to watch it again, and I just didn't ask about it.
And then Kieran and I helped him finish it up.
It's because the other person we watched it with, whom we shall not name, for doxing purposes, didn't want to watch more. So I was like, oh, that sucks. And it bummed me out. So I just never thought to ask. Because I didn't know if you liked it or not. So I was just like, man, that sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we watched Dragon Ball Kai together, and I was obsessed with Dragon Ball for a bit until that eventually just petered off.
Yeah, that's true.
I was a mad watcher of Masako X, and now I guess the YouTube algorithm has fully covered up Masako X because I don't see it. I know I'm subscribed to him, but I don't ever see any of his videos anywhere.
I have the same problem. I mean, I don't really watch him anymore, but I used to a lot.
He still makes a lot of videos.
And then, of course, there was the Dragon Ball...
Jeets.
No, the Joe Capo one. The good Dragon Ball anime.
Oh, Dragon Ball X.
Dragon Ball X, yeah, that's what I'm thinking of.
We have to do Dragon Ball X someday.
That shit was peak, like
2017 humor.
2017 humor. Like
Dragon
Ball.
That's the humor level I'm still on. I haven't grown up, but yeah, Dragon Ball X on its own is good enough for a Fan and Friday.
Yeah,
that's true.
That one we should do like a live react or whatever to it again or something like that. We can do it on Twitch or something like that. I know another host of ours doesn't want us doing like live stream content, but I think it's something that we should think of. I remember he was pretty adamant against doing that for 20 on the Dice Throw, which is something that we also need to get back to doing.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of stuff we need to get back to doing. I forgot. Did I finish talking about my experience with anime as a kid last time? Or
no, I don't think we even really started
it. All right. Well,
I guess. Hold on, I just want to cap my thoughts off real quick.
Yeah.
I was kind of rambling, just giving you the general timeline. I've always been into cartoons. I've always been into animated shows. So, anime went through like my wheelhouse. I wouldn't say it was like, to me growing up, it was anything special. It was just like, well, there are American cartoons and there were Japanese cartoons, and Japanese cartoons look a little different and they're a little weirder. But you know what? That's okay. And now that I'm an actual functional, I grew a secondary brain cell. The secondary brain cell is like anime is a separate thing, and it's tending to be a lot better than what American animation is pushing these days. Continue, Matthew.
I think I'll jump off of what you were saying. I'm kind of the opposite. Cartoons and stuff were a huge part of my childhood, partly because I was homeschooled. And I think I'm one of those weird kids who took the morals of cartoons a lot more to heart than most. Because thinking about it, I think a lot of my personality is based around Naruto, One Piece, and Bleach.
Yeah, that sounds right.
I was a bit big like that guy who bases like their whole personality around things. I remember oh god, I used to be really in fourth grade. I would keep saying got it memorized because Axel. I tried to make it that my catchphrase or whatever.
Yeah, I did
that and
really stupid shit when I was a kid.
Oh god, yeah, I would do that a lot. And yeah, I would also say that like video games, like hearts, like taught me they taught me morals.
Mm-hmm.
That's a weird thing to say, but you know, I guess they did their job of teaching messages to me, is to not be a real chotch, you know, a real
real cool lord.
Yeah, real
dumbass.
Obviously, I didn't watch JoJo when I was a kid, but you know, there'll be a part 1 DO before Vampire.
I did love cartoons a lot. I remember really liking Justice League, Teen Titans, and stuff like that. I also love Jimmy Neutron. Let's not talk about that part of my childhood, though. The anime part.
Wait, why not? Why not?
Jimmy Neutron was cash.
Jimmy Neutron was
about that part of my childhood?
Fever dream half the time. Don't come to me with that crack smoking little dipshit who came out of a radiation field with a football that was oriented vertically instead of horizontally, like Hey Arnold.
Isn't that Hey Arnold?
Hey Arnold.
I used to love Hey Arnold.
Hey Arnold is a really good show.
Mind you, this was like 4 years ago and not like 10 years ago.
Yeah. Anyhow, Toonami was a huge part of my my anime watching stuff, like most kids who grew up around the same time I did. And I never got why people were like, "Oh, I like One Piece more than I like Naruto, more than I like Bleach." I was fucking blown away every episode of Bleach, Naruto, or One Piece. My brain would be fucking cracked out on the couch. My head exploded across the wall. Everything. I just could not get enough of those shows. Even though it wasn't the 4Kids dub of One Piece. And I remember vividly as a kid, I almost cried. I was so happy when I learned how to pirate anime and stream it without going anywhere, because it was just so easy. Just so quick and easy to go find the shows. Like Bleach or Naruto, and then...
It's even easier now, too.
Mm-hmm. I couldn't remember the name of One Piece for the longest time. I could remember Luffy and Sanji and Nami and Zoro and Usopp, but I couldn't remember One Piece.
Why not just Google their names?
I was like 7, Sergio. I didn't know you could fucking Google shit.
I knew you could Google things.
But eventually I did remember the name One Piece, and I started watching that. And I remember it was on a really bad anime streaming site using a shitty player that was some professional program, and you could only watch 72 minutes a day on it. So, I only was able to watch 3 episodes of One Piece a day. So that took me a long time to watch One Piece.
Shit.
A long time. But that was fun. That was a fun part of my childhood. And then more adult shows. Not more adult shows. Other shows on Adult Swim's Toonami block. I would fall asleep watching too. Like Inuyasha, Full Metal Alchemist, stuff like that. Those shows were all so freaking cool when I was a kid. Still are.
I'd say,
yeah.
Are you gonna keep going, or I want to tell a funny story?
Go ahead.
about me getting into anime.
Yeah.
So, do you have anything to closing thoughts on what you were saying though before I go into it?
Well, I was just gonna say, I think the first show I ever watched without knowing what it was from when I was a kid was Death Note.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like 9 when I watched that show, which is that's not the show a 9-year-old should watch, but I loved it as a kid. It was awesome.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I remember when, because like the big middle school animes were like Death Note and like Naruto, and like I knew of Death Note, I never watched it, but I thought the concept was cool.
Yeah. What's your story, Jacob?
I did eventually go and watch Death Note, but that wasn't until like a year or two ago.
Yeah.
As I said in the last episode, the way I got into anime was renting Dragon Ball Z on Netflix, like the CDs or the DVDs, and getting them shipped to my house, watching them one at a time, and sending them back. But that was when I was in like 5th, 6th grade, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe earlier. And so I wasn't really into anime, I was just into Dragon Ball. But I remember my friend Owen, who these two know, because I've known him for like most of my life. We were Skyping, which makes this a dated story. But and he was talking about Full Metal Alchemist. And I was like, it was like 8th grade now at this point. And I just got broken up with my middle school girlfriend, and I was sad. So I
think I remember this.
Yeah.
Did you know me at this time?
It was like right when we met. It was like maybe right before. Because I think we met the summer after 8th grade, right? Or maybe during 8th grade. It was around that time. But yeah, so I was just like bummed. And he was talking about it. So I watched Full Metal Alchemist on my Nintendo 3DS in bed on Netflix with headphones in. And that is the first anime I'd ever gone out of my way to like watch with no like experience or any knowledge about it. Like I knew about Dragon Ball and I'd seen some other anime on Toonami, but they like I think I was young enough that I didn't really get it, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I was a very like wide-eyed, like innocent child, I guess, growing up, which is funny now.
Yeah,
I remember.
I remember like watching like Samurai Jack and not understanding what the hell it was, and then Nick sat down and watched it with me at like your house, and I was like, oh, okay, now I understand what's going on.
Mm-hmm. No, like I remember when I found out about the game Shadow the Hedgehog in like 3rd grade, and I heard that Shadow swore, and I was like,
cool.
That was like the most insane thing I'd ever heard in my life. Like what they swear in that game? They can do that? That's legal? You know? Like
yeah.
That's insane. And that's just a like funny thing now. I think anime definitely helped me get out of that phase. Cuz I mean, obviously I was a Gen Z child that was born in 2000. So like I played Call of Duty and shit in middle school. Like you know, those kids, those middle schoolers who went on Call of Duty on Xbox Live and would try to sound older, but you know that it was like a 10-year-old because, you know, they sounded like a 10-year-old and they'd be like, "No, I'm not. I'm like 14." And it's like, "Yeah, okay, buddy."
Yeah.
But I think anime definitely helped shape me into the trauma-filled demon that I am now.
That's awesome.
So yeah, I bet for they have a love-hate relationship with Shadow the Hedgehog, as I love the game, but the game has a lot of flaws. But like my favorite color, like my favorite 2 colors are black and red. So here's this character who's like black and red, and he wields guns. And, you know, guns are cool. And like to me, I'm like, Sonic's lame. We got Shadow. He's like a badass, and he's got guns, and he swears. Like that's awesome. Like you're 6-year-old playing Shadow the Hedgehog. I was like, yeah, this is awesome. And I remember where I decided, because I was really bad at Sonic games as a kid. I sat down and grabbed the controller. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna power my way through all 10 endings of Shadow the Hedgehog and beat the game. And oh boy, was that a very excruciating experience, because I was not only getting out of the kid bad at video games, like being decent at them, but Shadow the Hedgehog's game design is fighting you it's an uphill battle to fight that game's camera, and it's jank. But I
That's
did it,
why
and
you just do the for the hero story. It's easy because the ability you get with Shadow for getting all the hero points or whatever just flies over the entire level for you, so you don't have to play it.
Yeah, but that just gets you through for the hero stories at least, and also the neutral route, because for the neutral route you just got to get to the end. But there's only a few levels in that game I would say are problematic. I think as much as I hate to use that term, but there's a level in the slightly evil path that's on the gun space station or whatever that Shadow was created on, and the good option, which is find the computer room, that Vector says. That was a little meme amongst my friend group at the time. That's real it's right at the beginning of the level, but the evil option is way at the end, and there's platforming, and the camera's bad, and you'll fall off. It's a mess, and I was thankful enough to get through it. And there's also this other boss that you have to fight occasionally called the Egg Dealer. It would take me 25 to 30 minutes at the time to beat the Egg Dealer, because I didn't know the proper way of fighting him, so I just homing attacked him, and that does shit damage. So I was just whittling him down for 30 minutes. You know what that
makes me think of?
What?
Another anime I grew up watching, Sonic X.
Yes, I watched Sonic X. Yeah, I forgot about that. Oh, I also watched the Sonic OVA.
I was a big Sonic fan as a kid. You can ask my parents. I have my mom in her room. She has this thing that this project in 3rd grade on the first week was all about me. And you had to make a book in Microsoft Word of things you like. And it was Kirby, Shadow the Hedgehog, Sonic the Hedgehog, and Super Sonic. And those were my 4 things. Which I think is a really good representation of what I was like when I was
Yeah, I was really into Sonic too. I remember I remember one of my dreams was because I wanted to play Sonic 06. I didn't have
first games that I ever was bought.
I was a kid. I wasn't around YouTube reviews. I just saw there's this Sonic game. It's on a console I don't own, and there's this new Silver Hedgehog. I was down to play Sonic the Hedgehog, I referred to it at the time.
That was one of the weirdest experiences looking back for me as a kid. That was one of the first games I ever wanted and specifically asked for, other than Left 4 Dead. Because when I got my Xbox 360, I got a copy of Left 4 Dead 1, which was not something you should have bought in a 9-year-old, by the way. I'm just going to point that out.
Yeah.
I was scared of the intro. And that and Sonic 06, it was because the Hollywood Video near our house went out of business, and they were selling all their stock. And I was like, Sonic game, and I was like, Mom, Sonic game. And my mom and my dad were like, yeah, fucking sure. And I remember going home and playing through the Sonic campaign and being like, this is so cool, and the final boss sucking. And then I kind of slowly realized as I kept playing it, I was like, oh, this game is bad. Even as a little kid, I was like, wow, this game isn't fun.
Yeah, I played
because when you're a little kid, you don't really think wow, this game is bad like you do now.
Uh-huh.
If a game is bad or it's hard, it's the same thing for child brain, because it's either it's just this game isn't fun because it's hard.
Yeah, I guess because
what were you saying?
I was like, because I didn't have a PS3 and a Xbox 360, I had a Wii. I played Sonic and the Secret Rings, which I know was released around the same time, and I did not like Secret Rings because controls were
nobody likes Secret Rings.
Yeah, its controls were terrible because like Sonic auto runs through the whole thing, and you're basically like you have to jump and turn and all that. Like like you don't have control of him. Yeah, I know no one likes it, but at the time I was like, yeah, this isn't very good. And I picked up Sonic and the Black Knight, and I never got around to playing it. But that one I remember was like, oh yeah, this looks really cool. I want to try this out.
Do you still have it? We should play it together sometime.
It's yeah, I do have it somewhere. Since
I'll buy a Wii U, and then we can just play. Or no, you have a Wii.
Yeah, I have a Wii. Remember the great Wii debacle?
No.
Where No More Heroes got stuck in my Wii, and then
yeah,
it got stuck in my Wii, and then I disassembled it and took it out, and then the disk drive was borked, and then I accidentally touched the Wii with my screwdriver, and thankfully it didn't fry the Wii, but it fried the power supply, so I bought a new Wii, and then I was like, I plugged the power supply into it, and I was like, why isn't it turning on? I was like, oh god, I didn't fry my old Wii, I fried the power supply. So
I mean, the old Wii was probably fucked anyways, considering that the disk drive was broken.
Yeah, so I got a new Wii, and I bought a new Wii. I bought a Wii remote with the Wii Remotion Plus put in, and I bought a nunchuck.
Nice.
Also, that leads to a small mini rant because I bought a used Wii with Wii Motion Plus because I wanted the original hardware, and a new one of those is like super expensive, so I bought used. But some chud spilled like coffee or something in the the middle of the buttons, which well, obviously the thing still worked. It was just it was all gunked up. So I was like, all right, I gotta get this thing open and clean it out, right? But the Wii remotes have, I think they're called alligator clips. I hate these things. It's the clips where like you have to put a lot of force on it to break it apart, and it just feels like you're going to tear something. And then because I remember I was opening it and I was like, oh god. And I pull it and it makes a horrible sound, and all the buttons went everywhere. I was like, oh no, I broke it. I was like, wait, no, they're supposed to do that. They just they sit on top of the pads, and they're not connected to anything. But I hate those clips.
Mm-hmm.
Because I also disassembled my PS4 controller because a little piece of plastic broke off and was like rattling, and ripping that open was also nerve-wracking. I know I shouldn't be like afraid that I'm going to break it because it's supposed to be like that, but it doesn't like when you're pulling on something that doesn't that's not supposed to come apart, you feel like this isn't giving way.
Yeah. See, that's why you buy the Wii remote, and then you just buy the Wii Motion Plus instead of buying the Wii remote with Wii Motion Plus. You just buy the Wii Motion Plus, butt plug.
Yeah, but see, I had a Wii Motion Plus, and I kept having the issue with at least on mine, because I don't know where mine went. But when I had it, the nunchuck kept disconnecting. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna buy a Wii remote that just has it built in.
I remember getting to play Skyward Sword on someone else's Wii because I didn't have the Wii Motion Plus, and I was like, wow, wait, it's gonna be so fun. And I played it, and I was like, wow, this sucks. Good time.
Yeah. All right. I don't have much else to add to any discussion here. Should we start the actual episode?
I feel like we should cut this here and release it as a separate episode, because this is like a 30-minute conversation.
Yeah, that did go on for quite some time.
Yeah, I think that would be smart. Just cut it here and just make another recording. So
yeah. Well, if you're listening to this, you know what our decision was. Bye.
That's true. Bye.